Everybody in the world is bent.
This is the most dangerous man our world is facing today. Aside of the fact that he advocates starting a first strike war against a sovereign country, not even its neighbor, but far away, attacking them. Continually talks of it, and think about it. I mean, can you imagine if China was talking about attacking the United States, that it's going to make first strike on the United States, it's going to attack America before America deploys a new weapon system or something that China has to attack? I mean, America wouldn't stand for it. It's a threat. It's terrorism. I can't imagine living in Iran with this Yahoo out there, Benjamin Netanyahu, talking about a war. Aside of that fact, what that war could do to the global recovery economies is beyond belief. So first of all, we'd have a great loss of life. Then a war starts. The price of oil spikes. Now, at the best of times, Europe is struggling right now. So imagine a summer when suddenly the price of oil is up 50% to 100%. People are unemployed, especially the young people. In Europe, the young people will be on the streets this summer. It doesn't matter if it's Greece, Italy, Spain. They're facing 20, 30, 50% unemployment. There's already a powder keg with the match lit. Factor in increased oil prices, price of food skyrocketing, price of everything skyrocketing. We are talking about Europe completely imploding. But not only Europe. What is this going to do to the United States? Because even though the United States stands so firmly with Netanyahu and Israel on a war against Iran, how are American public going to react to $5, $6, $7 a gallon gasoline and the price of food and everything else going up? For me, the biggest fear of 2012 is the start of a war in the Middle East, because this isn't Afghanistan. This isn't Iraq. I mean, those were small and relatively ineffectual countries. As a matter of fact, most of the wars in the last 20, 30 years have been against countries that couldn't defend themselves. Panama, Grenada, all these countries. And they've been far away from home, but this could bring the war situation home. And I tell you, I don't think anyone out there is ready for the consequences, because if you sit down and start weighing out all the what ifs that could happen by simple little acts, it is absolutely astounding. And this would affect every single country in the world. I mean, supplying food to the starving masses in Africa or wherever, energy costs, China. I mean, it will bring the whole global economy to a grinding halt, a collapse. And perhaps for a new world order, that is a way out of all these huge deficits that countries have. United States, they will never repay that. I mean, Americans are indebted to that. They're slaves to their deficit. So if you have a global war, a global collapse, maybe it allows countries to start out all anew. I don't know, but the thought of war and the consequences scared the living by Jesus out of me, as it should every other person. There is just no excuse for talk of war. Any and every country, and the 99% of the people out there better wake up and maybe do some house cleaning in governments, because, like I say, this can't go on. Sooner or later, something's going to happen that we won't be able to stop. At least that's the way I see it. Okay, so I just finished listening to President Netanyahu address the U.S. lawmakers in Washington, D.C., and several points really stick out to me. One of that is that, contrary to what President Barack Obama just recently advocated for, which is setting back the borders to the 1967 pre-war state of Israel and Palestine, Netanyahu said that is not a reality. That will not happen no matter what. This is how it is, and negotiations have to take place now. But that negotiations cannot happen with Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organization bent on destroying Israel, so there will be no negotiations with them or anyone from that side of the fence, so to speak. Netanyahu also went on to say about how much Israel has done to help the Palestinian people, that it has opened up roadblocks and all these different things for Palestinian commerce, and that in Palestine now there are shopping centers, theaters, stores, all these great things are going on for the people's benefit. And the lawmakers in the United States listening to this repeatedly were getting up and giving standing ovations as if this version of reality is written in stone, like it's actual fact. And one of the other interesting things that I found was when Netanyahu referred to Israel as the ancestral land. Israel is not an occupier. This is Israel's ancestral land. And therefore, Israel has a right to exist and be a separate state, be its own country or whatever. This would be like saying that North America is the ancestral land of the Native Americans, so give it back. Give it back. Let the Native Americans now rule and be the power in charge of North America. It doesn't matter if it's the United States or Canada. And the same thing would apply to other ancestral lands that have been taken by Europeans or by invaders from other places, like Australia. The Aboriginal people were displaced from their ancestral land. In South America, Brazil, Native Indians are even now being displaced from their ancestral lands in the name of logging, mining, all these different things that are going on. So I don't know if that argument holds water, but the other thing is that Israel only has one true friend in the whole wide world, and that's the United States. And even Europe and the United Nations have turned their back on Israel time and time again. As a lot of different rhetoric was said, the U.S. lawmakers stood in applause time and time again. And all I can say is that when you take a look at the world situations, there will be no peace in the Middle East. There will not be. The sides are too divided, too polarized, and it's just not going to happen. Sad to say, for all the innocent people that will continue to lose their lives, lose their properties on both sides. I'm not defending Palestinians. Israelis are also suffering. And there are leaders in there who have their own vested interest at heart. And sadly, the ordinary people will again continue to suffer. At least that's the way I see it.